though we all originate from source oneness, the work is remembering that while we feel separate. Today we're going to talk about the cycle of consciousness, and we talked about, when I was talking about creation, we talked about that physical reality is manifested by the inward focus of spirit, okay? But what I want to talk about today is the other half of that cycle, because that is the creation. But what happens once we are here? Once we are here and we are under this veil of forgetting, where we are feeling separate, we are feeling individuated, the journey is expanding back out into that sense of oneness and reconnecting to source. And this is such a powerful thing to understand. And of course, you know me, I love a good diagram. So I have a diagram that explains this, that basically is showing that, as we are all one, and when I say one, I mean part of source, divine consciousness, intelligent infinity, whatever name that you have for God or higher being, whatever you choose to call that. Essentially, we all come from that source, and then we are here in this perceived individuated state. I say it like that because essentially we are all part of that divine consciousness, and we never stop being part of that. It's that we stop understanding that we're part of that. And so our earthly journey, this is, you don't have to agree, this is just me sharing the spiritual thoughts that I'm sitting with, but the journey is about re-expanding back into that. And so this is where doing the inner work matters, because this is how we stop feeling triggered and alone. Because truly, I believe, and again, we've talked about elevated thought, we've talked about when you're in that unhindered, love-based state, that you're perfectly aligned with flow, that you are able to hear source, that you're able to operate from a place of power and authority. But at the opposite end, you're in that constricted, fear-based state. And in that state, you are feeling a deep sense of separation. And this is so crucial to understand, because if you find yourself feeling separate, and again, I've talked about this in other ones, I really do believe that most of our triggered and low emotions, like the harder emotions, come from that fear and that sense of separation. So if you can do the work to realize that you are connected, again, it comes back to, like, if you think of your body as one, okay, you're not going to psych out your heart and your lungs by, stopping breathing for 20 minutes. You're just not going to do that, because you would kill the entire thing. So you're not going to choose to do that, because it's not in the best interest of your oneness, okay? In the same way, when you understand that you are one with source, you understand that source is not going to intentionally harm you. Now, we can say this from the standpoint of, it does not mean that you're never going to go through challenging circumstances. Again, we all do. That is the point of this experience, is, again, to embrace the catalyst, which we've talked about before, because that is connected to the intentional living step 3, assuming positive intent. When challenging things happen, trust that they're happening for you. Why can you do that? Because source is not trying to harm you. That source is giving you catalyst so that you can grow through it, so that you can overcome it. And again, like, this is not, it's not something that's happening to you where, because I feel like it's easy to get into a victim mindset, especially if you've gone through really, really hard circumstances. But I really do believe that previous to this physical incarnation, that we know what our soul's journey is, that we come here with a purpose, with a plan. These are the things that I want to address while I'm there. I want to address forgiveness, or I want to address self-love, and you could have like a whole host of things. And so those are the experiences, that's the catalyst that's going to come up for you, or things that help you to walk through those specific challenges, so that you have the opportunity for your soul's growth to overcome those things. And so understanding the cycle of consciousness is embracing the fact that we have been created through that inward focus of spirit, and now we are in the process of expanding back into that greater understanding of oneness with source. Hopefully that tickles someone's imagination today and starts sparking ideas for you and connecting dots for you. And I look forward to sharing more. Bless you guys. Have a great day.